For an impromptu build log. Don't know why all of a sudden my voice is cracking. My father ordered a case for his computer because he's tired of the old junky gamer case that it was in. So he just went with something sleek. Marks off right away because the entire box is upside down. This is how they delivered it though. UPS guy. It's like, here, sign for it please. I'm like, it's upside down, dumbass. But at least they delivered it in one piece from the look of it. No tempered glass or anything. It's just a nice basic black glass. So let's get to it. So this is the case. It is by Thremaltake. And as you know, my P3 and my old P5 and my Snow Leopard, Commander, MSI, whatever it was called, those were all Thremaltake. Thremaltake is a pretty decent brand. They do a lot of knockoff builds, but I'm not gonna fault them for that. But this is the reason why my father got this case. My father likes optical drives, as well as he wanted something with like that pseudo brushed finish. Yeah, brushed. Taking a look around the case, it's very basic. It doesn't even have tempered glass or acrylic or any of that junk, because again, this is just a work PC. It does have a power button up top, reset button. I don't know if I can get a good shot of it. There it is. Actually, perfect shot. It does have a hot swappable SATA connection on top, SATA and power for hard drives. That way, if you have a hard drive laying around, you just want to grab the information off of it really quick, you just plunk it right in the top there, and it works well. There's actually one inside of his old case too that I'm taking because I could definitely use that, so I don't have to keep on finding connections and stuff. 2 USB 3, 2 USB 2.0, headphone and microphone jack. Very standard. Let's open up the side and take a look inside the side. That's something nice to see. Captive thumb screws. You don't see that in a lot of cases that are under a couple of $100, but this one actually has captive thumb screws, which I approve of. It does have sound deadening material inside on both the front and the back, to help it keep a little bit quieter, which is the main goal for my father. He's not into overclocking or anything like that, like I am, so he does not need it. As you can see here, it does have toolless drive enclosures, so hard drives and everything will go right in there. And it does come with all your necessary hardware, including standoffs already installed, which you don't always see. That's good. It doesn't have a basement, but a lot of cases don't, so that's just me being nitpicky and gripey about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take everything out of that system, just an AMD 8320 or 8350, put it all into this system so that it's good to go. All right, no montage. I'm just going to do it, and I'll be back when it's done. All right, as much as I love my father, he is no longer allowed near electrical tape. Number one is done. It is emptied out. So the next thing to do is take all the parts that I just took out, clean them, and install them in the new case. It's going well. The E-tape adventure kind of slowed me down a little bit, but after that I was able to pull it apart pretty easily. This one has some room for cable management back here, so we will not be using electrical tape to hold SATA cables ever, ever, ever again. Good. Moving on. The best parts about new hardware, and I don't always get to play with it, is new screws for everything, including power supply screws, so you don't have mismatched screws and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and mount this up. Now, one very easy mistake to make is to use the wrong screws, because they just throw them all in a bag together when you're putting your computer together. You have to make sure you use the correct ones for the motherboard standoffs, otherwise they won't seat all the way in. In this particular case, it's the coarse ones. Another fine touch that I do approve of is these rubber mounting points, rubberized to help reduce vibration. That's really good. Just got to get these mounted up, slide them in, and this case does have a small front bay, so I can put his card reader back in there too. So that's cool. He doesn't have to go without anything from this case swap. Brown board, ugh, but no side windows, so it don't matter. Here we are, finished product. It doesn't look too bad if I say so myself, considering I just did this in under 45 minutes and I was just reusing what he already had. Couple of gripes about the case. The front USB 3 is too short. I wanted to route it up through this cutout, but it didn't actually make it all the way, so I ran it through here, which is okay because I just have all the SATAs running through here. These are a little bit cheesy looking. I think they could have come up with some different kind of mounting solution for these block off plates. I understand that most people don't care anymore because most people don't use block off plates, but still I would have preferred that to be a little bit nicer. For a case that claims it's not a gamer case or anything like that, it's just a regular case, and it doesn't even have a lit fan in the back. For some reason it's got a blue LED fan up front. It's nice that it's a big LED fan, but absolutely unnecessary and probably a waste of money. Get cheap ones, man. Additionally, you can't really, yeah, you can see it a little bit, but the filter for the power supply or basement area, or whatever you want to call this area, does not have magnets holding it in place, so it slides out too easily. Beyond that, I'm pretty happy with the layout of the case. It's not terrible. These, of course, have to be coming out the back, but at least you have a pass-through right there. Kudos for having rubber grommets for every pass-through. That's good. A lot of cases don't do that. And yeah, overall, you know, no sharp edges. I didn't cut myself even once doing any of this. I did run into an issue where it wouldn't start when I was done, and it turns out that was my fault. One thing you definitely don't want to do with a semi-modular power supply is use the wrong peripheral cables. I didn't realize that when I handed him this one because it doesn't say EVGA on it, it just says perf. You see that BQ? That goes to my power supply. And I was trying to use it in here, and it was tripping the UPC that my father has under the desk immediately. So I was disconnecting things one at a time, and then I remembered this was the last thing I added. So I took it out, system fired right up. This is massively overkill, what he has in here. He's got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance DDR3 RAM in here. I wonder what the speed is. I never even looked. Yeah, he's got 32 gigs of 1866 megahertz RAM in here. That's kind of cool. Oh, if he ever decides to do that Ryzen build, I guess I know where I'm getting extra RAM from. If you listen closely, it's actually pretty quiet. That was not part of the case, this door. Unfortunately, the clips on it kind of broke, so you just gotta be careful, put it back where you got it. Not a bad case. It's honestly not that different from what he had. The main difference, of course, is that this case was a gamer case. You know, designed for airflow, lots of holes, lots of venting, and it had the side panels. This one is completely enclosed, and it's designed for somebody that just, you know, wants a quiet and, in my opinion, pretty understated case. It's not a bad system, not a bad case to build in. This is real aluminum from the feel of it. Like I said, system's up and running. Yahoo! Wahoo! It's done. Yay, good for everybody. I even hooked that up so that he can do whatever he wants. And you can put in either a 2.5-inch drive or a 3.5-inch drive, and that's a convenient thing to have if you have a lot of hard drives that you need to recover data from. So that's the Thermaltake Soprano case. And it, again, it's not a bad case. I did not mind building in it at all. It's not my style. I don't like to completely enclose my computer, but it really fits in his office here because everything else is pretty plain except for his monitor, which is like a Mac knockoff or whatever. I mean, it's Samsung, so it's not a knockoff, but you know what I mean. It looks more like a Mac than it does a regular PC product. But yeah. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave those down below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, it's over there, duh. And become a Patreon. And as always, use the right cables, and I'll see you in the next one.